Yeah, welcome to a special edition for Greyhound News as we look ahead to a very good competition. The Time Greyhound Nutrition 3 Steps to Victory semi-finals taking place at Sheffield on Sunday. We had the 480-metre heats last week that we'll come into in a sec, Michael. We've got 3 semi-finals now over the 500 metres with 2 qualifying, crucially 2 getting through. Sheffield used to be, Michael, different, where their competitions used to be first 2 in round 1 and first 3 in the semi-finals. Now they've changed it back to the usual style: first 3 in round 1, first 2 in the semi-finals. Now there'll be some people disappointed with that, with the draws that we've got on Saturday. But just going back to last week and the 6 heats, we had some surprises in there, but some good performances as well, including from Challenge Bear. It was great to see him back to form.
Yeah, it's very impressive. A Barnett Bear, Chelms Bear, as we know. The 27.59 was flying, ultra impressive. I know we're going to go into the heat shortly, Joe, but yeah, it's got a nice draw to work from. And around 5-1 anti-post, I'm sure we'll be tempting a few in.
It was last week's winners were the other boss 27.62, stayed really well. Very elegant 27.73. Kilmore Dancer 27.49, very, very quick. Now, question marks over how far he'll stay if making it to the final. Clodcar Rosie 27.65. Carrick Fergie beating Wiki Ned in a rapid 27.38. And of course, Charles Bear 27.49 plus 10 on that card. As we go into the semi-finals, we'll look at the anti-post market first. Wiki Ned still favourite at 4-1 for the competition. 5-1 Chelms Bear, 5-1 Kilmore Dancer. It is then a little bit bigger Carrick Fergie. Let me just scroll across. 5-1, no, 7-1 Carrick Fergie, 10-1 the other boss, 14-1 table toppers. You can get 16s, and 20-1 clone at Curly. As we go to semi-final 1 at 4:42 on Sunday afternoon. Now, Chelms Bear in 1, Very Elegant in 2, the other boss in 3, Carrick Fergie in 4, Flying Desire in 5, and New in DJ in 6. Now, your eyes automatically, Michael, drawn to Chelms Bear. Great draw. Trying to follow what you done last week.
Yeah, I think Carrick Fergie absolutely pinged the lids last week. I think the Star Pilau runner will trap out, lead round again. Then it'll just be all eyes on Chelms Bear. Any sort of level break, hold the rails, turn within 2 or 3. And yeah, book his place in the final. Like we said, that 5-1 for outright honours. I think that's definitely value for me, Joe.
Yeah, this is a good race. I'm gutted you're the boss, for connections. I've got my license with Carol, had it for 15, 16, 17 years now. So, was just hoping for a good draw. He's got a horrible draw. So hopefully he can get through the other boss. But Carrick Fergie, when you look at a dog who might be running over 6 bends next week if qualifying, 296 sectional in last week's first round over 480 is just flying. Now he should really clear the inside runners, and if he does, he's going to be tough to beat from there. Although Wiki Ned was back running him slightly, got down to 3/4 of a length in the end. So I'm with Chelms Bear. I think he's got a good draw on the inside. My only worry is his inconsistency at times. We've seen him throw in the odd bad run, but he's gone back to form well for Craig Morris last week. Maybe that switch of Kennel has just sparked him up a little bit. And
I agree with that, Joe. So that's where I'd go with the anti-post handle. I'd rather take 5-1 for outright honours for the competition rather than a much shorter price for the semi-final. So yeah, hopefully qualifies for the final. The step up in trip would be fine, and hopefully you're sitting on a nice ticket there, a nice voucher, and you've got a bit of value going into the final.
And a dog that stays, Michael, which is question marks over some. So you know that he'll stay it well enough, the 660. But remember, though, these semi-finals are over 500 metres this week. So we've got 480 to 500 with this final over 660 next week. So Chelms Bear in semi-final 1, semi-final 2, Arthur Job in track 1, Tabletop is in 2, Wiki Ned in 3, Clodcar Rosie in 4, Raspberry Angel in 5, and Pin All in 6. Now, is the reason he's still 4-1 Wiki Ned, Michael, because he's going to be heavily odds on to win this race, isn't he?
Yeah, most definitely. I think for outright honours, we talked about it last week. We touched on it, Joe, where we just don't know about staying. So I think even if he's impressive in the semi-finals, I think you'll still get half a decent price in the final, because I think the bookmakers will be out to get him. As we know, his CV is very impressive, but he is definitely going into the unknown.
You'd want to take him on, wouldn't you, if he got through as well?
Yeah,
You'd
yeah,
absolutely want to be, you'd want to be against him. Now he might pop out, lead and win, and that's that. But you definitely want to be taking him on. There's massive question marks whether he will stay.
yeah. Agreed.
But he should win this one. He should win his semi-final.
Yeah, it's just sometimes you look at a race and you think, how should I get this favourite beat, or where's the and? Or when you look at it and you just go, there isn't one. I think Wiki Ned wins. Table toppers for me is not quite showing that spark. Clodcar Rose, impressive last week, but tricky draw outside Ned. Maybe I think it'd be between table toppers and Clodcar Rose for second, but I think Wiki Ned wins.
I'm going to go with Arthur Job in two, who in trap one, sorry, you just goes about his business really quietly for Pat Godfrey. Now he's, third round of the Derby. He just goes about his business quietly. He's a nice dog. He really is a nice dog. And second to the other boss last week, 3.5 lengths. He didn't set the world alight, runs his race, and that could be enough here to qualify him behind Wiki Ned. So yeah, we both agree on Wiki Ned. Tabletop just isn't running to the best of his form at the minute. I don't think 4-5, Clodcar Rosie, Raspberry Angel, Pin All In are good enough, I must say. Clodcar Rosie being drawn outside Wiki Ned is just a disaster for her to try and get her in. So I'll be on the inside with Arthur Job to finish second to Wiki Ned. As we go on to semi-final 3, Kilmore Dancer in 1, Loxley's Forest in 2, Malfield Oscar in 3, Droopy's Extra Good in 4, Clona Curly in 5, and Brinkley's Louis in 6. Now again, whether he stays or not, if he gets through Kilmore Dancer, we don't know. But God, this is a chance for him to get to go 2 from 2 in the competition. Michael, he should really win.
Yeah, it just everything again points to Kilmore Dancer here, a bit like Wiki Ned before. The 27.59 in the heat, very, very classy performer. 28.77 and 28.79 around Toaster. Form behind a like to Romeo Tomcat, who won last night. Lenny's Desire. Yeah, top class performer, Joe. I think wins the here, and maybe Droopy's extra good for the place. I don't like the draw in 4. Went back through the form. Never won from wider than trap 3. But obviously limited appearances out there, being a railer. Brinkley's Lewis, well drawn, but will need to come on from last week, I think, to challenge the favourites.
Yeah, I'm with Kilmore Dancer. Again, probably will be odds on and should really win. I'm going to be with Brinkley's Louis in 6. I think he's got a good draw. He'll clear Clona Curly on the run to the corner. Droopy's Extra Good will definitely be moving in from 4. Oscar Loxley's Forest, not good enough. Probably not good enough to compete. So I thought Brinkley's Louis could finish second. And again, then you look in, will they stay? We could have 6 dogs here who just don't stay a yard in this final next week. It's going to be it's crazy though, Marcus. So if you could get a Clona Curly through, you're sitting on something there at 20-1. He's going to stay.
I think that'll be the angle a lot of people are looking at now. Can I get a stayer through? Is there a bit of value somewhere? A lot of these, as we know, the 4 bend performers are gonna qualify from the weekend. I think Chelm's Bear will stay if you go into the final. But yeah, beyond that, there's nothing really standing out in the anti-post market where you go in. That's a proper 6 bend performer. We lost obviously Broxy last week in the first round. I think it's wide open.
Yeah, I'd be tempted 20-1 Clona Curly. If you can just get through in that first 2, you've got a dog who definitely stays. Now, that might just be enough to win the competition. So, a very intriguing competition. One of the good competitions of the year, it really is, because it always throws up so many different questions, that can be unanswered, because we might not see them over the 6 bends. It might not qualify, but it's such a unique style, and it's good to give a chance for early pace dogs, 4 bend dogs. And as we've said, if you get that 6 bend dog through, Connections will be so confident if they manage to get through.
I think we highlighted it last week, Joe, in the anti-post angle, sort of saying, do you go for a 4 bend dog that you're not sure on staying? Do you go for a 6 bend dog and you hope gets through the first 2 rounds over 480 and then 500? And we said, as a betting proposition, there's lots of different angles in this. And obviously, as we see the second round now, the 4 bend performers are coming to the front of it. They're really at the head of the market. But there's still those doubts of, will they stay? Will they, if they get to the final, what will happen? So it's an intriguing one. I think it'll be interesting to see how the bookmakers price it up. And I think, like you say, if one proper, genuine six-bend performer sneaks into the final, that could be the winner.
There we go. We've heard it from Michael Smythe there, the man in form. He really is the man in form at the minute. So we'll take that on board. Yeah, Clonard Curly 20-1 for me, way too big. Michael, thanks for joining us. We will be back next week as we look forward to the final of the Coral Coronation Cup and, of course, the final of the Time Ground Nutrition 3 Steps to Victory. Michael, thanks for your time. See you next week.
Cheers, Joe.